Everyone to episode 5 of The Windy City Kid with yours truly, the Windy City Kid himself, Ricky Orozco. As you know, we have hit the month of July, which means it's going to be very busy for both basketball and baseball. Basketball because it's the off season. Baseball because the MLB trade deadline's this month. So let's start off with some baseball news, shall we? Last night on Sunday, MLB finally announced the complete roster for the 83rd MLB All-Star Game, which will be played in Kansas City on July 10th. I will be announcing the starters for now. For the American League, we have catching Mike Napoli, at first Prince Fielder, at second Robinson Cano, at third Adrian Beltre, El Capitan Derek Jeter at short, and the outfield will consist of Josh Hamilton, Curtis Granderson, and Jose Bautista, while Big Papi will be the designated hitter for the American League. For the National League, we have Buster Posey, who's going to be catching, Joey Votto at first base, Dan Uggla at second, Pablo Sandoval at third, Rafael Furcal at shortstop, and in the outfield will consist of Melky Cabrera, Carlos Beltran, and LA's own Matt Kemp. But Matt Kemp most likely will not be participating in the All-Star Game this year. Reason being is because he's injured with the hamstring injury and he wants to rest. But that doesn't mean you won't see him All-Star Weekend. Even though he might not play in the All-Star Game, he still wants to be a participant in the Home Run Derby. We'll see. For a complete roster and updates, just go to MLB.com or go to my Twitter. Go to my Twitter at RORO330 for complete updates. Speaking of the LA Dodgers, they just said no to a trade with the Houston Astros for Carlos Lee. The LA Dodgers were going to send pitching prospect to Houston in return for the first baseman and outfielder Carlos Lee and cash. Carlos Lee did not want to waive his no trade, so the Dodgers said forget about it. They'll be looking somewhere else for the bat that they need. But the LA Dodgers are still in the running for the Chicago Cubs pitcher Ryan Dempster. They said a deal might happen as soon as Dempster is off the DL. Speaking of trades, the future Hall of Famer Jim Thome was recently just traded to the Baltimore Orioles. And congratulations to Aaron Hill of the Arizona Diamondbacks last month, because he did something that has only been done once since 1900. He became the second player in Major League Baseball history since 1900 to hit 2 cycles in 1 month. Pretty amazing. Now to some basketball news. Last week, the Charlotte Bobcats traded Corey Maggette to the Detroit Pistons for a first-round draft pick in 2013 and guard Ben Gordon. Speaking of the draft, Anthony Davis obviously was taken first overall by the New Orleans Hornets. Unfortunately, he hurt his ankle. He will be out on the sideline for about 1 to 2 weeks and most likely will not be able to practice with Team USA, so he won't be in the Olympics. Speaking of basketball, guard and forward Ray Allen is a free agent this year, and he is being called up every day. Ray Allen is being wanted by the Miami Heat, by the Boston Celtics, and the Memphis Grizzlies. The Heat are offering him $3 million. The Grizzlies are offering him $5 million, and the Boston Celtics are willing to offer him as much as 2 years, $12 million. Speaking of the market, the LA Lakers are still trying to trade away their big man Paul Gasol. They're looking to see who was willing to take him. They are looking for high draft picks still and big name players ready to go. Speaking of big men, Dwight Howard just said that he wants a trade out of Orlando. Where he wants to go is the Brooklyn Nets. But the Brooklyn Nets might not go after Dwight Howard anymore, because it was just breaking news right now that the Brooklyn Nets and the Atlanta Hawks came up with a deal that would send Joe Johnson, the All-Star from Atlanta, to Brooklyn for a couple of expiring contract players and round picks. So this might actually help out Darren Williams with his struggling future plans, because Darren Williams can't decide between the Dallas Mavericks or the Brooklyn Nets. Now with Joe Johnson, that's going to help out a lot. Speaking of Darren Williams, the Nets are right now talking to him, letting them know the deal just went through. Speaking of point guards, Steve Nash was offered a 3-year, $36 million contract by the Toronto Raptors. We're just yet to find out if the Canadian will go back to his native country and play with his team. If not, New York is a possibility, but the Phoenix Suns have yet to offer him a contract. Also in basketball news, the Portland Trail Blazers have offered big man 7'2" Roy Hibbert, the former center of the Indiana Pacers, a maximum contract of 4 years and $58 million. Now, he can't officially sign until July 11th, but the Pacers will have 3 days to match the contract or he will be a Blazer. Speaking of big men, Blake Griffin signed a 5-year contract extension with the LA Clippers. Their other star, Chris Paul, declined a 3-year, $60 million contract offer, but he said because he's waiting for the offseason next year so he can sign a maximum deal with the LA Clippers of a 5-year, $108 million contract. Now, in some other news and MMA news, July 7th, UFC 148 will be live from Las Vegas, and it will feature Silva vs. Sonnen 2, a huge fight that the world's waiting to see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for today. Leave some comments to see what you guys want me to talk about in my next show. Maybe a little bit more, whatever you guys want. Basketball, more baseball, less baseball. You guys got it, all right? Have a good day. Thank you for watching The Windy City Kid. Peace out.